There was one very important rule, and this was that when soldiers walked along the town, the city, the pavements, everybody else had to get off the pavement. And I walked along the pavement with this boy. And I instinctively got off the pavement, and he didn't get off the pavement. And one of them pulled out his gun and shot him through the head. And there was this friend of mine just dropped dead. And this was the, you know, and I ran home and said this. And this was the very first moment that I realized they were out to kill.
To escape the German terror that had now begun, Kitty's brother Robert fled to Russia in an attempt to reach England. Her grandmother, who had been in hiding with the family, was seized by a Nazi extermination squad. Now Carl Felix made his last and most desperate bid to keep his family alive. It was to separate him from them forever. He arranged new Aryan identities for his wife and daughter, and then smuggled them on board a train taking Poles to Germany for forced labor. Kitty and her mother were taken to the IG Farben works at Bitterfeld. A year later, the Gestapo were tipped off that amongst the Polish laborers there were some Jews.
The Gestapo people came in civilian clothes. They were not in any uniform. There was this man in civilian clothes. He came in and said, "Tomorrow we're having dancing. We're all going to have a dancing lesson." And it's just the way he said it, we knew automatically we're going to die. There was something in his barking sort of voice, you know, that put it across. Oh, he did say, you might as well say goodbye to one another, because tomorrow we are having a dancing session. And then we were taken out at dawn and put up against a brick wall, and all the machine guns were lined up, and the soldiers were there ready to shoot. And shots were fired. And my very first impression was that I had been missed, because I was facing the wall, and there were screams. And then it was very quiet, you see. And all of a sudden there was this terrible laugh from beyond, and we'd realized that they were not going to shoot us. It was just to frighten us. And of course, many of us broke down and cried, and I don't remember crying. I just felt a tremendous relief that I hadn't actually been struck.
From Bitterfeld, Kitty and her mother were transferred to another prison in Dresden. And it was here they got their first idea of what was in store for them.
There were various rumors about Auschwitz, that whoever goes there never comes out. There were inscriptions on the walls, "I'm on my way to hell." But I didn't relate this to any hell. To me, hell was having been on the run for 3 years. And I thought, well, here we come to a place, there will be our enemy, and we will have something to fight.
Kitty and her mother were transported back to Poland. They arrived in Auschwitz on April the 2nd, 1943. Kitty was now 16. She had been on the run since she was 12.
Although I was psychologically ready for Auschwitz when I got there the very first time, I'm not quite sure whether I'm psychologically ready to go and face it this time. I don't know what it will do to me to see it. I don't know if I'll be as detached as I was when I got there in the first place, when I knew I had to face death, or life or death. To see it now may make a very much bigger impression on me than what I expect. I would like my son David, who is a doctor working in Canada, to come over and see it for himself, because he so much wanted to see it and so much wanted to understand how people could live there. Maybe I should go back, because very soon there will no longer be people like me alive. In another 30 or 40 years, there will be no one who can actually say, well, I have seen 1, 2, 3 million people die, and I would like my son to be able to say, my mother was there, and I am telling my children